Well, as you've seen, Cindy and Stephen Binder were forced to take a drastic medical step to stop their daughter's relentless seizures. The operation to remove half of Brandy's brain succeeded, but she was left paralyzed, her future uncertain. What happened next can only be described as astonishing. As Deborah Roberts picks up the story, the Binders have locked onto one doctor's advice to challenge and stimulate Brandy and never stop.
The Binders took that direction and ran with it. Brandy began intensive physical therapy, first at a rehab hospital in Denver, then at home.
Keep your tail up in the air.
12 grueling hours a day, every day.
Your tail up in the air. No,
But soon the hard work began to pay off.
Walk it, Brandy, walk 'em.
She started challenging herself, and anything she would do, one step, two steps, she would get all excited, say, hey, look at what I can do. And that attitude has never changed.
The Binders were witnessing the miracle of the young brain. As it develops, a child's brain is full of activity, making trillions of vital connections and expending twice the energy of an adult brain. Amazingly, Brandy's active left brain was now taking over functions from the missing right side.
It is very malleable. It can reroute. It can form new pathways.
Dr. Harry Chugani, a neurologist at Wayne State University in Detroit, is a leading researcher in the study of the young brain.
Certain functions are reassigned. New fibers, new tracks, new circuits can be set up and established in response to the injury.
So a young brain can reorganize?
Absolutely. A right hemisphere.
For example, Dr. Chugani showed us brain scans of a child who, like Brandy, had a right hemispherectomy. The first image shows how the remaining left brain, seen on the opposite side in the scan, is activated when the patient moves his right arm, which is perfectly normal. But what's incredible is that the left brain also registers activity when the child moves his left arm. So the left side of the brain is doing what the right side used to do, partially.
Absolutely, yes.
Might this have happened in the brain of an adult?
No, this would probably not have occurred in an adult.
That's because an adult brain is almost completely programmed. From age 10 on, the brain begins casting off connections that aren't used and hardwiring those that are. Since Brandy was only 6 at the time of her surgery, there was still time to remold what was left of her brain. Encouraged by their daughter's physical progress, the Binders now focused on her intellectual recovery with the same dogged determination. So, 2 months after leaving the hospital, Cindy sent Brandy to a regular public school.
She just had little studs for hair, and she limped her way in. She was wearing a leg brace, and she had a huge helmet on her head, and she had a pink little frilly dress. The kindergartners took one look at her, and they all headed to the other side of the room.
I think we were all absolutely frightened. I think that we were felt unprepared.
Pam Cole has tutored Brandy since kindergarten. What were the other kids doing on this level that Brandy just could not do?
Well, they were basically doing cutting, coloring, pasting, and they were starting to write letters, numbers, words, some of them.
And she couldn't do any of these?
No, Brandy was unable to do that.
Slowly, she began catching on at school. At home, Cindy drilled Brandy in phonics, the alphabet, reading.
Stimulate, stimulate, stimulate. You know, those words rang in my ears all the time. And so she would go to kindergarten, and she'd do what everybody did there. And then she'd come home, and most kindergartners take a nap or go outside and play. Now Brandy hit the books for another 4 or 5 hours, you know, and we did this every afternoon for an entire year. Just became Brandy's life.
How much on sale was that coat?
7 years later, there's no let-up. Brandy reads slower than most kids because of a vision problem, and some concepts like math are tougher for her to grasp. But she devotes long hours to her homework just to keep up.
Do you ever think that it's just too hard?
No, not really. I work really, really hard because I want to get good grades. And so far, I've gotten all A's this entire year.
All A's. Did you expect that she would get to this point where she could earn A's in school?
No. I was just hoping, you know, C's and D's, if she could just keep up like that. But like Cindy said, challenge her as much as possible, and she started getting A's and B's and A's.
Do you ever think about quitting?
No. Because I want those good grades.
You want the good grades?
Yeah.
I gotta watch you a couple times.
And Brandis completely ignored the experts who predicted she'd never appreciate music. It's her favorite hobby at home.
So what do you want people to know about you? I mean, if somebody just read that Brandy Binder has half a brain, what else do you want them to know about you?
I want them to know that I can do things just like they can do, and that I'm not different from anybody else in the world.
Right up and over. There you go.
So when your mom wanted to put a disabled sticker on your car, what did you think about that?
And I told her to take it down because I'm not disabled.
Brandy still has seizures, but now they're infrequent and brief, like this one which happened while jumping on the trampoline with her sister Ginger. She's learned to let it pass, then go on.
Do you think that you could be whatever you want to be?
Mm-hmm.
Wow, you're sure about that. Why are you so sure?
Because I have confidence in myself.
Through struggle, Brandy has developed a strong will, a will that allows her to be just another kid with hopes and dreams for a bright future, an independent life.
Don't help me anymore.
How come you don't want anybody to help you?
Because I want to do things on my own. I'm gonna grow up one day, and I'm not gonna live with my parents all my life. I told you I didn't need any help.
Great.
So it's important to you to do it on your own?
And I know it probably I won't be able to drive or anything, but taking the bus isn't bad.
And so to your doctors who are so surprised that you've come so far, what would you say to them?
I'd say, I told you I could do it. You didn't believe me, but I told you I could, and I was right.
You were right.
Terrific. What a remarkable child. What remarkable parents. Now, she says, I told you I was right. I told you I could do it. What does the doctor say about her future?
Well, fortunately for her, the doctors just don't know, Barbara. They haven't had a great deal of long-term experience with patients like Brandy, but every time she sets a goal, she reaches it and then some. So they fully expect her to do quite well and be independent.
I've never heard of an operation like this. Is this unique?
It's pretty rare, but not as rare as we thought when we started this report. There are hospitals all around the country that do about 30 to 50 of these surgeries a year, Barbara. But remember, it is just excruciating for the parents, and it's a worst-case scenario.
And look what has come out of it.
From our